Hello, Year 3, Mr. Bayford here for Wednesday's English lesson. Today we're going to write the end of the myth told by Mr. Timmons on Monday or Tuesday as well. But before we do that, before we look into that, we're just going to have a bit of a sentence leveling session. It should only take about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And looking at my screen, and you can probably see it as well. Hopefully you've got this printed off in front of you too. If not, don't worry too much, but you can pause and I will keep coming back to it. So we are going to be talking about conjunctions. And there are two types of conjunctions. There's coordinating conjunctions, which are these. Now we call them fanboys, don't we? But they do stand for these conjunctions right here: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. A coordinating conjunction joins two main clauses to make one compound sentence. For example, look at this blue. Well, there's two sentences here, two clauses. The cat became scared. It jumped off the fence. Right here, where this full stop is, we could use a coordinating conjunction to join these two main clauses together. If we zip over here, it says, the cat became scared, so it jumped off the fence. The cat became scared, so it jumped off the fence. We have joined those two main clauses together using a coordinating conjunction. Some would actually work there as well. You could use and, but so definitely is the best one, I would say, for here. Down here we've got subordinating conjunctions, a lot more here, but they're a little bit different. A subordinating clause is part of a sentence that adds additional information to the main clause. So they might not necessarily be two sentences, two clauses put together. Let's have a look at the example. The cat was sleeping peacefully after after a very long day. So that apart would be the cat was sleeping peacefully a very long day. It wouldn't work. We're adding more information with a subordinating conjunction. The cat was sleeping peacefully after a very long day. Now, conjunctions do not necessarily have to be in the middle of a sentence. You can also see them at the beginning. And here is the same sentence, but a little bit different. Can you spot why? After a very long day, the cat was sleeping peacefully. Do you spot it? We have used the subordinating conjunction at the beginning. After, there it is, after a very long day, the cat was sleeping peacefully. It did mean we had to get this part of the sentence and put it at the beginning for it to make sense. No, we didn't. That would still make sense the other way around. Ignore that. But we'll carry on. After a very long day, can you see that comma? That's a little bonus comma. In year 3, we don't necessarily have to do that, but it really is really good practice for when we move on in English. After a very long day, the cat was sleeping peacefully. So please refer back to this when we do our writing. Okay, so this is your task, extending sentences with conjunctions. So for this first sentence right here, can you use a coordinating conjunction to improve it? So going back, it's the fanboys. So which one of these would work here? The monstrous figure blew fire. The hero managed to dodge it with an impressive roll. And the other one is use a subordinating conjunction to improve this sentence. Let's just show you quickly. So one of these, or maybe a few of them would work, but which one are you going to choose? And where are you going to put it as well? The hero's knees trembled with fear. How are you going to extend that sentence and make it even better? Okay, let's pause it here, see what you come up with. Welcome back. This is what I've come up with, but I'd love to see what you have done as well. So, I've decided but was the best one there. The monstrous figure blew fire, but the hero managed to dodge it with an impressive roll. I thought that worked brilliantly and has expanded um, that sentence now. And down here, the hero's knees trembled with fear as he approached the mysterious cave. I thought as was a great one here because I wanted to talk about where he was going as he approached. Um, Also, I did the alternative as well, where I put the conjunction at the beginning. As he approached the mysterious cave, comma, the hero's knees trembled with fear. Both of them are great. What did you come up with? Send them in. I'd love to see it. But on to the task. Now, we need to look back at the plan. This plan was sent in by someone which I loved, and I transferred it onto the computer. Now, there's no pictures or anything like that, and there was pictures there. So if you've done it in a comic strip way or done any pictorial representations of your plan, that's absolutely fine as well. But this child has made a bit of a heading here with Bellerophon, and I'm going to keep trying to pronounce that correctly. Bellerophon, saying he was scared, worried, needs help, and they noticed that he had no armor and he didn't have a sword either. So he's in a bit of a tricky situation there. They also noticed that this story is called Bellerophon and Pegasus. Who is Pegasus? They made a separate part on their plan. Who is Pegasus? On the first page, and you can go back and have a look yourself, there was a white horse with wings. Could that be Pegasus? Sorry. Could that be Pegasus? Perhaps Bellerophon finds Pegasus and flies on him. Very interesting idea. So down here, this is the third part of the story that they're going to be writing about the traveling to the monster. So Bellerophon finds Pegasus, feeds it as it's hungry. That's a good idea. They become friends. So this flying horse, Pegasus, they become friends. Has a burn mark. So the horse has a burn mark. Why would that be? Wants revenge. So there's a little bit of a reason as to why Pegasus the horse would join Bellerophon traveling towards this monster. Maybe they've had a fight before. The Chimera. The Chimera. Now, there's a little bit here. It's not to do with the part, but it's a nice sidestep of the plan. It cannot fly. That's interesting because Pegasus can. That could be key. It roars at BMP, which is Bellerophon and Pegasus. It roars at them, but that's all it can do because it cannot reach. That might be a little lead in as to how they defeat it, which goes on to part four, the battle. The battle. They swoop down. So Bellerophon and Pegasus swoop down and pick up the rocks. They defeat the monster. So I'm thinking they swoop down. They've got these big rocks, and Bellerophon on the back of Pegasus starts throwing rocks or whacking them as he's going past. And that way, the Chimera can't actually reach them. That could be the way they go. And finally, once they defeat the monster, the last part. Is it a happy ending? Well, in this plan, it depends who you're rooting for, really. If you're rooting for King Proteus, sorry, but this isn't going to be a happy ending for you because Pegasus and Bellerophon, they visit the castle. And in this plan, they they plan to knock the king off the tower for revenge, which is just a little bit. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm blocking it a little bit. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. There we are. Um, which I thought was a really uh, fantastic plan. It's so vivid, I can imagine it, and I can't wait to get started. So I have. Um, but before we do that, before you start, make sure to go back to the toolkit. I'm going to be referring to it quite a lot as I'm going through the shared rights. Remember, we're writing a Greek myth to entertain my classmates about a hero defeating a monster. We want the reader to retell the story, understand, keep the reader in suspense, and all the techniques that we've learnt about in year three as well. Paragraphs, make sure we're talking about one topic in each paragraph. It can have many sentences as long as it's around the same thing. If we're going to move on to something different, we need a new paragraph. Rich vocabulary, which moves me on to, sorry, just quickly, adverbials of time and place. That's so important as well. We need to know when and where this is happening. Conjunctions, we've just had a go at. Um, Rich vocabulary, please use your word mats for inspiration. For example, if you were going to be talking about, I don't know, nighttime, we could go to when, this column, when, look down. Oh, we could talk about the moon. We could talk about dusk or even dawn, setting, rising, fading, black sparkling. Oh, flickered, descended, ascended. And there's some examples down here. The stars shimmered like a flickering candle. Great. I might not use that, but I'll be inspired by that. Fantastic. Please use that, especially for spelling as well. The names are up here. Okay, so this was my shared write, which I'll go through with you. I thought it might take a little while to write this out together. So I've written it and I'll tell you what I did. I can already see that I have a lot to do in my redraft, but I think it's a good start and see what you think. Remember our date and remember our learning intention. Let's see what you think. I'll just read it through first. The sun was slowly going down over the sandy desert. Bellerophon thought about how he could defeat this monster. As the day turned into night, the stars began to appear. He sat and put his face into his hands. He cried before gradually falling asleep. The morning sun awoke Bellerophon. As he opened his eyes, he suddenly gasped. Before him stood a horse with wings. Looking closer, Bellerophon could see that it had been burnt. Are you hurt? Bellerophon asked the creature. It did not move. You have wings. Can you fly? As if the horse knew what Bellerophon was going to say, it jumped high into the air and flew through the sky. And I left it there. So I've got two, well, three paragraphs, my first three paragraphs there. And I'll just quickly go through my mindset of why I chose different things. So I could have just said the sun was going down. And I even think I could do better than going down, actually. But I added slowly as an adjective because the sun doesn't go whoop. We need to give it a bit more drama. It was going down slowly over the sandy desert. Again, another adjective. However, I think I could do better with that, and I'll have a look at that tomorrow. But I set the scene, didn't I? Bellerophon thought about how he could defeat this monster. As the day turned into night, the stars began to appear. I've got a conjunction here, as, and I put it at the beginning. Now, if you look, I could have said the stars began to appear as the day turned into night. I could have done it that way round as well. I decided that I was going to start with conjunction. And also, it's a time adverbial as well. We're talking about when, which is always so super handy, especially at the beginning of a part. He sat and put. I don't really like put, so I will definitely change that tomorrow. He sat and put his face into his hands. He cried before gradually falling asleep. That's quite a good start. I can definitely see where I can improve. Okay, now usually we don't leave a space for paragraphs. We just move down to the next line, but I wanted to show you where my next paragraph started and why. The morning sun awoke Bellerophon. Now, can you see why I've started a new paragraph here? If I carried on, he cried before gradually falling asleep. The morning sun awoke Bellerophon. We're talking about something, it's a different time now, isn't it? We've moved on to a new subject. So I've dropped it down to a brand new paragraph. The morning sun awoke Bellerophon. I used morning as the adjective here because to tell the audience when is he woken? Did he sleep 24 hours? Who knows? No, it's the morning. So he's had a fairly good night's sleep by the sound of it. As he opened his eyes, he suddenly gasped. There's another conjunction right there. I could have said, he suddenly gasped as he opened his eyes. But again, I decided to use it at the front. Um, Bonus points for the comma. Before him stood a horse with wings. Okay, I think I could do better tomorrow, but that will do for now. Looking closer, Bellerophon could see that it had been burnt. Okay, I added that bit. It had been burnt because I wanted to connect it to why this horse is going to help me later on. But I don't like the way that sounds. Bellerophon could see that it had been burnt. It's a bit like that, isn't it? So I will change that tomorrow. But that's good for now. I'll take it. These are inverted commas which you may have seen in year two, and if you're unfamiliar with them, you may have seen them. Well, you might have seen them in books. It tells you something that someone is saying. So here, are you hurt? Bellerophon asked the creature. So these three words, and only these three words here, this question what has been said by Bellerophon. Bellerophon doesn't say, "Are you hurt?" Bellerophon asked. Who says that? No one. So, um, one to begin it and one to end. And don't forget your punctuation as well. Whether it's a sentence, a full stop, sorry, a question mark, or even an exclamation mark. It did not move. You have wings. Can you fly? This is still Bellerophon talking, and you know that because I've carried it on in the same paragraph. If it was someone else talking, that would drop down into onto the next line, okay? Um, and also, I don't have to say Bellerophon asked the creature again because he's already done it. We know that we're talking about Bellerophon, okay? You have got you have wings. Can you fly? As if the horse knew what Bellerophon was going to say. I've got my as again. Again, good conjunction. I've used it 1, 2, 3 times now. Something to look at tomorrow. It jumped high into the air and flew through the sky. I'm not sure about that bit either. However, I'm quite happy with that. It's so fun to write. I just wanted to go on and on and on, but it wouldn't be fun to watch my process. Instead, I can't wait to see what you do. Please, please, please send it in, and we'd love to see your first draft. Remember, once again, before I go, the conjunctions are there for you to look at and to download and to use. Don't just put them everywhere. Really consider which ones work for you. And moving on to your plan, please use your plan. Add to your plan. It's there. And if you've had more ideas, add to it. Don't forget them. That's why your plan is there. It's for you to help. Um, Also, please go back to the toolkit. Make sure you know exactly what we are asking for you to do. Because if you don't, we're only going to be addressing that in the redraft as well. So if you do it in your first draft, it makes your redraft a bit easier. And lastly, the word map. Again, it's here for you. Lots of different ideas about Bellerophon and the Chimera. All the green ones are the Chimera to do with that. So when they visit the Chimera, you can think about uh, disgust, anger, pulsing, desperately flickering, raging. Oh, it's fantastic. What wonderful words. Use the imagery below to help you there. The black ones is because it doesn't really matter who you're talking about. It's more about when, isn't it? And that could be at any time. Um, and that is it. So I wish you good luck. I really, really look forward to it. Have a lovely afternoon, and I will speak to you tomorrow.